walk with a great look on your face. Today, I'm going to tell you a lot of things, and say a lot of things without actually saying anything. And I'll leave you as if you've learned something else. Let's start. Let's look at this picture for a few moments. I'll probably hint some interesting facts about this picture. I'll also talk about what this picture actually means and say something that is essentially meaningless. But now, I want to prove my legitimacy, so I flash some numbers. I flash another number. And with the subtle click and a subtle pause, and this movement, I flash another. After this, and after I have drawn you into my presentation, I ask you a customary question. Have you been asked a question before? You see, 95% of the people nodded yes, which is a number that I totally cooked up in my brain because I didn't have any idea. Even if 50% of you would have said yes, I would have still said 95%. So, what do? I take the 5% and I blow it out of proportion. And I tell you that those 5% of the people matter. A customary pause is necessary, and I pause. And I look at you as if I'm involved in some deep thought. And after that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw you in further by highlighting one random quote. And what is the quote? Ross is grin. Something that's painfully obvious, but something that has a lot of meaning, especially when it comes from a totally made-up figure. Meet Arnold Stallone. And yes, I've drawn you in, so I flash another random quote. And this time, it's Robert Stacy, who is saying something very interesting. The sky is blue. A customary pause again. And so, I move on. I now tell you that you have to think. And I ask you to think. And I can see you're thinking. And that's pretty much my objective. But I'm not done over there. Why? Because I haven't really evoked emotion. So a pointless picture about evoking emotions. And then again, the pointless 95% data, then the 5 million data, and then in a triangular shape, another piece of data. And yes, all of this is totally necessary for me to continue drawing your attention. I gesticulate a bit, I modulate my volume a bit, and then I have evoked some emotion. But now, I have to move a bit in this corner of the room. I have to gesticulate a bit more, and I have to tell you a completely pointless story, which will evoke some laughter, and that's pretty much it. So, here's a story. Roses are red, sky is blue. I'm here, and you're listening to me. And yes, you listen to that pointless story, you think that that story does have some point or some significance, but in actuality, it doesn't. So, what do? Well, I get serious. And I tell you that that story that I just told you about is the story of that little girl. And so, I now use the rule of 3. And I tell you that roses are red, roses are red, roses are red. And as I've used the rule of 3, I've connected with you, because if I had said this twice, or even 4 times, it would not have made the impact that it does when I say it thrice. So, I pause. And I wonder about nothing. And now, because I have to end my talk, I present an inspirational, pointless picture again, which is totally pixelated. Yet it gets you inspired because of the pointless stories and the imaginary facts that I've told you previously. And now, I paint a utopian picture of a world that we all should live in. And I say some inspiring words, like if we all could save plastic, or if we all could do this for the environment, that pointless little story of mine will hold much deeper meaning, and that goal will not be that goal anymore. And now I return to the picture that we started with. And I, from my rhetoric, now present to you different numbers, which is totally cooked up and which belong to the utopian world of mine. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.